Destiny Independence USA. Learn more right after this.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doc,
how you doing?
doing great. You know, I won't complain too much today.
Good, good. That'd be a nice change for us then.
I do complain to you a lot, don't I? I guess I do. But I complain. We just have a lot of discussions
That's all right.
that I'm
That's
very
all right.
unhappy
You've,
about.
you've dealt with some of my whining as well, so. But we have something really valuable as well as interesting to talk about today.
Yes. A new program that I learned about not too long ago and that I know has been around for a while. So I just thought it'd be great to learn more about this program, especially, you know, there's a huge resource gap, I think, when it comes to working with young people. We all recognize the value of young people, but a lot of times there's the shortage of resources and the right type of resources. So today I think we're going to be talking about a program that actually, tries to fill in some of those gaps.
Yeah. Well, I know a little bit about Destiny Independence, but very little as well. So, less than you know, as usual.
No.
But so it'll be a learning show. It's
For both of us.
for both of us.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an important topic, though, and one that you will want to learn more about with us. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with our guest after this.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
With opportunities outside the classroom.
Where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits toward my bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college is affordable.
It's close to home.
My college has online opportunities.
It's where excellence begins.
We are
GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're very happy to have with us today Janice Hadaway, who is the Executive Director of Destiny Independence USA. Welcome.
Thank you so much for letting me come today.
All right, so as is often the case, I am starting at zero. So tell us what the organization is.
Well, the mission of Destiny Independence USA, probably referred to as DIUSA here forward, is that of guiding financially challenged children and youth all the way through their education and formative years, all the way into their first adult job.
Wow. So I gather from the title that it is a larger entity than just Rome and Floyd County.
It is not. However, we were forced into attacking the USA on the end of Destiny Independence because somebody in Georgia had already claimed that name. But the truth is, the vision could be national. I guess you could say that we're the pilot program here in Rome. And if all goes well, and I believe it will.
You have a title ready to go.
That's right, and we have an influence ready to go in other parts of the country once we prove a track record.
Yeah.
So Janice, let me ask you this. So I hear what you said, the mission, but that's a very broad mission. So how do you attempt to accomplish that? Is it some things y'all specialize in? Do you have a set program? Exactly. So if I'm a parent and I'm listening, exactly what could I expect if my child was involved in Destiny Independence?
Okay, good question. Well, it's really a simple concept, but it does take place over a long period of time. We're just going to simply walk alongside these children and their parents to try to remove obstacles that they may face that keeps them from achieving their potential educationally and personally, and provide them with resources that they may be lacking, things like transportation or various types of guidance, career planning, and job preparation skills. So in order to accomplish that, we have 4 prongs to the program, and they create an acronym that we're calling ARCS, A-R-C-S. That helps everybody remember. So the first one is academic preparation. And in the academic prong of our program, we're going to be providing free tutoring to all of our members only whenever their academic grade drops in a particular subject below a B.
Okay.
And we will be keeping up with their report cards with their parents' permission so that we'll know when to begin and end tutoring. And we've already had success with one young lady who pulled her math grade from a low C up to a high B with about 2 or 3 months of tutoring. So we're excited about that. And we'll just do everything that's within our power to make sure that they're ready for college or trade school. We invite anybody that's in the Rome community who feels like they have an expertise in an academic subject and cares about children and can share concepts well to contact us about becoming a tutor. You don't necessarily have to have a teaching degree. I have taught children my entire adult life quite successfully, and I don't have a teaching degree. I do have a master's degree, but that doesn't even necessarily have to happen. And 2 other critical components of the academic arm of our program is that we will be providing a high school prep seminar for middle schoolers and early high schoolers. Because one of the things that we've found, Greg, is even among some of the high school kids that we've worked with, they often don't know what a high school transcript is or a GPA, even as late as junior and senior year sometimes. And I know they're told about it at school, but if they don't have those concepts reinforced in their private life, it doesn't necessarily seem like something that's very important that they need to give a lot of consideration to. So,
well, if not to cut you off, but if no one is asking you outside of school, what is your GPA,
right,
and having conversations of why it's important, then it becomes something outside of school that's very useless to you. You don't think about it. Right. But I know probably most homes where kids do attend college or are expected to attend college, that's one of the things you talk about, and that's one of the things you look at, you know.
Exactly.
And so I can see how kids could hear it in school, but then when they leave school, if they're not talking about a GPA, they're not talking about college, it's just like really useless information to them. And they don't consider it important and valuable enough to even keep up with it. And you are so correct, because I ask kids a lot in school, what's your GPA? Oh, I don't know. I'm like, how do you not know your GPA?
Right. Right.
You know, but so yeah, I could definitely see how a seminar to reinforce those things outside of school could be very useful for students.
Right, and of course the seminar will only occur once a year, depending on what mix of kids' ages that we have. But in addition to that, we have we have on our staff a college prep expert, and she will be working with the kids to start assessing their interests in various careers as early as 9th grade. And I know they do some of this at school too, but again, it's what happens outside of school on a regular basis that helps spur these kids' ideas and attention. So we have a close connection to Georgia Northwestern, and soon hopefully at Georgia Highlands as well, to use some of the internet tools that they have to guide the kids through the process of evaluating what their natural tendencies are towards a career, but also challenging them to ask the question, well, how much does this career pay? And are there plenty of jobs in this career? And I often use the silly little example of basket weaving. If I get a 9th or 10th grader that says, I love basket weaving and I want to go into basket weaving, I'm going to say, well, that's nice. That sounds like fun, but let's check out on the internet and see if there are actually basket weaving jobs in our economy. And if there are, how much do they pay? And how plentiful are they? Because these are questions that, I don't care what school you go to or what home you grow up in, these are questions that we have to ask our kids. I did to my own kids. There were things that they were showing an interest in that once we checked them out, we said, probably not a good use of your time in college to prepare for that field. So that's one of the things we'll be doing as well.
What is the youngest that you'll accept in the...
Well, initially we were going to take them all the way from 1st grade up, but then, and you're going to laugh at this, but we found out that if you are under age 8, you have to be in a car seat in the state of Georgia. So we decided probably not likely that many mentors are going to want to go buy a car seat and make sure this child is in a car seat. So we have set the youngest age at 8. And we'll take them all the way through at any point in time that they want to enter our program, all the way through high school. Post-high school, you know, we'll have to feel our way through that and see if there's even any need for it. Usually if we haven't gotten them young enough to go through a lot of our classes and training, they may not be at a point where they even want to be helped.
And let's back up because we just took off running. How did Destiny Independence USA actually begin? What was the founding of it? Where did it come from?
Okay, good question. In 2008, the pastors in our church at 2nd Avenue Baptist had a vision for reaching out to the East and South Rome community because we're just 1 mile from that area. And so they began a day camp, which occurs the first 2 weeks of every summer, every June. They bring in about 110 kids, and we just love on them and teach them and take them fun places and try to encourage them to think spiritually about their faith. And so that very first year, my husband and I worked in the day camp, and during and after the day camp, we met 3 little boys that were just adorable. And we just fell in love with them, and we saw that there was a huge need there for some mentoring. And so we got involved with, well, actually, we did a lot of research to see what mentoring organization we could go through, and the only one we could find where we could have access to take them fun places outside of the school campus was through Big Brother, Big Sister. However, they did not have a facility here. So we have had to join the one in Dalton, which is an hour away. And we've been driving to Dalton for almost, let's see, it'll be 8 years very soon that we've been mentoring these boys. And they are now 16. Terrell is 16, and he's a star basketball player at Rome High. And Eric is 15, and I was able to get a full scholarship for him to Unity Christian School because he was being badly bullied in the elementary school where he was. And Tim is the youngest, he's 13, and I'm told he's making very good grades at Rome Middle. Not one of them has gotten into crime, drugs, gangs. They don't even get in trouble at school, as far as I know. So I guess over the past couple of years, this has been rolling around in our brains. You know, we're not special. We just went out of our way to mentor these kids, make sure they had what they need, expose them to the finer things of the world, to raise their awareness of what there is out there for them. And if we can do this, why can't another 100 people in Rome do this?
Now, so it started really it grew from a church camp. Now, is the program funded by, is Destiny Independence funded by the church? Is it an arm of the church?
It doesn't have anything to do, yes.
Okay. So I'm saying, so did you and your husband create your own program in a sense?
Yes.
You saw that this was a need and something we wanted to do, and so, okay. So it's a passion program.
It is a passion program.
We're familiar with those.
Yeah.
In fact, my husband said to me sometime within the past year or so, as we have talked this over, he said, you know what, you're a professional mother. And that's pretty much what mentoring is. I'm a professional mother.
Well, I know we are coming up on a break pretty shortly. When we come back, we have a lot more to cover with Destiny Independence, so stay with us. We'll be back with a lot more after this.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're talking with Janice Hadaway, who is the Executive Director of Destiny Independence USA. So the organization will take on kids as young as 8 and will stick with them until young adulthood.
Yes, all the way through high school graduation, help them get into college or trade school, and see to it that they get into their first adult self-supporting job. It's a long-term prospect.
So how are you funded? I mean, we're talking about, is it all, the tutoring, is it all volunteer, or are you paying your tutors, or how does that work out?
So far, we have self-funded.
Okay.
And that's got to come to an end. So we have various avenues that we're pursuing, but one of the more unique avenues is that we are set up to accept real estate, stocks, bonds, annuities, even vehicles. And I'm told only about 2% of nonprofits nationwide accept real estate because of the liability issues. But we have a special vehicle that allows us to do that. So I would like our listening audience to be aware that if you would like to get full market value for your property and you would like to donate it to us, you can do that no matter how we sell it or for what we sell it for. So just a little advertisement there. We also hope that as churches and civic groups learn about what we're doing, and anybody else, that they will see this huge gap that we're filling here to reverse the trajectory of some of these children's lives who live in financial difficult situations.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you'll take just straight donations.
Oh, cash. Oh, of course not. Never cash. Yes, of course, cash.
And you have I mean, you're open to volunteers, of course. You have...
Yes, at present, that's all we have is volunteers. Right. You know, the day may come when we've taken care of all of our other basic needs, and I foresee that we'll definitely need to pay some tutors as time goes on. We hope to raise at least 50 tutors, and that doesn't mean that they're all going to be tutoring simultaneously, but we will know what their field of expertise is, what age group they are comfortable with, and we'll assign them as needed for whatever period of time is needed till that grade is back up to a B. And then they may have some time off and then be reassigned to another student. I have been told that you don't pay mentors. So that's really our goal, to have 100 volunteer mentors who will stay with these children as long as they need to be stayed with. Usually when you develop a relationship with one of these kids, you don't want to give them up. They just kind of become close to your heart. That being said, I have learned about an organization out west, I think it's Oregon or Washington, who is paying mentors. So, you know, we'll see how things progress as time goes on.
Yeah. Well, let me know about that program, because
do you want to move to Washington?
I'm just saying, because it is, you know, with mentoring, it is a labor, but it's a labor of love that you really have to want to do, and it's not easy. I mean, I'm assuming, based on my previous experience, that a lot of the kids you are probably dealing with, some of them have some very challenging situations, and it requires a lot of time and commitment But the reward is truly when you see kids turn the corner and see kids go off to be productive. That, you know, that's really all the pay that you really want.
It really is, yes. And I will say that we don't have plans to pull kids into the program that have significant behavior problems, because we feel like that just dilutes our ability to help more. That doesn't mean that they have to be perfect children. There are no perfect children. So, you know, we will evaluate it on a case-by-case basis.
Well, you know, I can tell you that's one of the things that, you know, we're very big on, is that while every kid, you have to recognize your limitations. And a parent told me not too long ago, she said, you know, why is it that all the quote-unquote troubled kids get all the attention?
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
She said, but you have good kids who come from two-parent homes who still need mentors, who still need, and I was kind of like, that is a valid question. You know, that sometimes we tend to overlook kids that we assume because they have these things that they don't need mentoring, they don't need other relationships. And so you really do have to evaluate, and you have to look at your resources. What do we actually have versus what can we actually do with it? Because the mentoring piece is, I love it, but it's some days you just say, wow, you know, it's just, you know.
Well, look at it this way. We've taken our boys to places like the ballet, science museums, Harlem Globetrotters. I'm trying to think of all of them because this is 8 years we're talking about now. And the vast majority of those have been funded and paid for both them and for us by Big Brother, which is the same thing we're going to do. We're going to be offering 2 field trips a year, one spring, one fall, to those types of places, and hope to fund both the mentor and the mentee's attendance so that they will come together. Because we're not interested in having a bus full of children with no adults, number one. And number two, it gives the mentors another opportunity to interface with the child. We have also taken our boys to Disneyland in Florida and to see the ocean.
Really?
Now, we don't expect mentors to do that, just in case anybody's listening and starting to worry. That's above and beyond. If they want to, we can certainly see how they can facilitate that in a safe manner. But there's no underestimating what these kids can gain from just seeing the ocean. I mean, can you imagine having never seen the ocean and what your first reaction is?
You know, we talk about that a lot, that we are a coastal state, and so many of our students here in Rome have never seen the ocean. You would think we are, you know, we're in the middle of the United States, but we are a coastal state, and a lot of our children have never seen the ocean.
Well, one of the things that we're hoping for is a donation of a 15-passenger bus with a center aisle, so that we can take some trips. You know, the sky's the limit, and I dream big, as you can probably see.
Well, for some of the more day-to-day activities, the tutoring, mentoring, does that happen at a particular location, or?
It will. We're still in the process of discussion with a couple of different possibilities. Our biggest need right now, gentlemen, is liability insurance, the money to buy liability insurance, because not everybody, but so many facilities require that you have that, and I understand that, and we want to provide that to our mentors and mentees as well. It's something Big Brother supplied to us all these years, which gave us the confidence to take them to lots of places, knowing that we were covered should the unthinkable happen. So that's number one. We've got to have money for liability insurance. But long term, we have a goal of building a facility of our own. My dream is to have a fairly large room that we can do spaghetti dinners and other fundraisers, as well as have parties for the mentors and mentees, but line the room with tutoring modules. And I also have another little dream that I'm not ready to share just yet. That you can get me back on in a year, and we'll see if we're closer to that. But we do want to have something in the East Rome neighborhood, largely because we'd like for as many of the children to be able to walk there as possible. Some do not have transportation. But we can use the 15-passenger bus to pick up the kids at Unity or at Rome High or Rome Middle that are presently being tutored and get them to the facility if needed, to make sure they get there instead of somewhere else after school. And in fact, we hope to have several more at Unity in this next school year, in addition to Eric.
Wow. You know, I'm just thinking about, there's quite a few mentoring organizations in Rome. It would just be grand if somehow a lot of us could collaborate more. I agree. So that we could possibly accomplish a lot more if we was at least collaborating on certain things, because I know we have been fortunate in the past to do quite a bit of field trips, because that's exposure is one of our biggest things. And we've been very fortunate to take quite a few field trips over the years. But you know, I was just thinking, you know, what if you said, hey, we gone on a trip, and say, hey, can you send 2 or 3 of your kids, or 2 or 3 of your mentors with their kids, their students? But we don't have those kind of conversations. So a lot of us are probably doing things that could make it easier, or invite somebody else to tag along that's not in a position to do that yet. But we, and that's something the mentoring community has to figure out. How do we begin to collaborate? Because we all want our own identity and want our own thing, but at the same time, we still want to help children. And how can we help each other accomplish that? So that is something we have to work on.
I'm glad you brought that up, Greg, because something I really want to avoid is any sense of competition for whatever available mentors there are out there. We're not competing with anybody. We don't really care where the mentors come from. We don't even care if they're only in our program. We just don't care. The only thing we care about is that they have a complete background check. So that we know the child is safe. And we do that. So any adult mentor or non-adult, although we're requiring or preferring that they're 25 and up and be established in the community, care about kids. But whatever adult we pull in to mentor a child or just to go on a trip with them, we don't care where they come from.
Yeah, you need bodies.
We are not possessive of this mentoring concept. Because I know there are lots of others that are doing it or trying to do it. Seems very daunting, doesn't it? To get people to give up a mere 4 to 6 hours a month. I mean, good grief, you could give up a supper one night or one party or something and do that. But it doesn't take very much. It really doesn't.
We've been having that conversation.
Long time.
Because it doesn't really take a lot. I mean, as daunting as it may sound, in the end, it really is about spending quality time with a child. And that makes a lot of difference in their lives, but everybody's not cut out for it, apparently. So.
And the tutoring arm of this, 2 hours a week max. And if you can only do one, we'll take that. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons after school. No big deal.
Well, we're coming up on another break here. We've got more information for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Janice Hadaway, the Executive Director of Destiny Independence. If you want more information, if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, here is how you contact. There's a phone number. Write this down, 706-766-5274, 706-766-5274, or the email address janice.h@diusa.org.
And it's also the website.
That's also the website. Okay. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you next time on Community Watch.